Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. This is Set for Life. Why Set for Life? Well, we all want to live, and Jesus wants us to live. So we're seeking after what it looks like to follow after him in such a way where we can find the life that Jesus has for us, that he died to give us. So here we are. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to kind of unpacking today really what all these videos are about. We've been talking a lot about transformation for it's been since the beginning of May now, and trying to get on here every day and unpack what it looks like to follow God in such a way that we truly live when we're seeking after transformation. And why is that? Why do we need to transform? And that's kind of what we've been talking about. Why do this? Why is it so important that God calls us into a right relationship with him? Why do we need to transform? I've already, accepted him. This other stuff of changing and morphing and laying my life down. This is all difficult stuff. Why do I need to do it? And the answer to that is he loves you and he wants the best for you. He wants you to be able to live. And when we get confused to the point where we don't feel like we need to transform, we get kind of stuck. We get stuck in our own way of doing things, and we can seek after trying to fulfill needs over and over and over again, and it's not going to bring the joy of the joy of being able to have that right relationship with God. That's how we really, really live. So that the transformation point thing is really necessary. So we've been talking about that for this entire period of trying to figure out what it looks like to transform. But here's the second step, and this is why I really wanted to start these daily devotionals, daily conversations, because I feel like we need to dig more into how we deal with what God has given us. See, when we transform, when we start to look more like he wants us to look like, and start allowing him to work through us on a daily basis, what begins to happen is God is able to bless. He's able to give us more. Based off of Matthew 25, when he's talking about the parable of the talents, and the takeaway is, for those who are faithful in the little, he will give much. And I want to be faithful with the little so that I can be faithful in the much, right? And so when we get to the point where we understand, okay, this is why I need to transform, so that he can use me, so that I can grow closer to him, so that I can throw off the things of the world that's kind of just bogging me down, right? Then he starts to bless. Well, once we get to the point where he starts to bless us with the gifts and the talents and the abilities to be able to be his hands and feet, then we get to the point where we could then go, oh, well, God's blessing me. Great. This is all for me, right? And that's where we get kind of tied up again. So 2 words, not just transformation. It's transformation and then stewardship. And so these videos were kind of birthed out of a passion, like a real passion of mine, to see people not get taken advantage of and not utilizing the blessings that God gives us. And when we're talking about transformation, the theme that kept coming up over and over and over again is, I need to lay down my life so that I can live, right? It's a paradigm. It's what's that called? It's ironic, right? The idea that in order for me to live, I need to die to myself. And Jesus said that if any man follow after me, he needs to take up his cross daily and follow me, right? Die to self. Lose yourself. And you will be able to find it. Take up your cross. Follow me. So this idea of transformation, it's not easy. You're dying to self on a daily basis. But when we do that, we start going, okay, well, if I'm dying to self, what's the natural byproduct of that? We realize that it's all God's. Everything that we have. If I'm supposed to get rid of myself, right? I'm supposed to lay it all down. My will, my desires, the things that might connect me to this world. I'm supposed to die to it. I'm supposed to lay it down, right? That means that everything that I am now belongs to Him. It all belongs to God. Everything. Every aspect of my life belongs to God. And if every aspect of my life belongs to God, then I'm no longer an owner. I'm now a steward. I'm not an owner of anything. It's not about my will anymore. It's about what do I need to do today to honor God with what He's given me. I'm a steward. Okay? And stewardship, that's a interesting word, because we look at that and, oh, that sounds like something that might be difficult. Yeah, it really is, because it's getting yourself out of the way and going, what would God want me to do with this? And the word is birthed out of lords in Renaissance time, where people lived on somebody else's land and they worked the land for them, and they took care of the animals for them, and the lord of the castle gave them protection, right? They protected them, so you can live on my land and I protect you, but you have to do all the work for me, right? And they were stewards. That whenever the lord would leave, then someone else would be in charge. They were the steward of the castle. They took care of everything. They made sure that the things that needed to be done were done the way the Lord would want it to be done while they were gone. And that's our job. We have to look at all of our different aspects of our life that we want, that God has blessed us with, whether it be our faith, our family, our finances, our fun, our fitness. All of those things, they belong to God. So I'm going to be jumping into more of what it looks like to steward the things that God has given us. So yeah, we're still going to be dealing with the transformation aspect of things, talking about just discipleship and transforming and wanting to look more like Jesus, and following after Him. But then on a more consistent basis, I'm going to jump into what it looks like to steward what God has given us. So using God's Word to set up principles that make sense in our daily walk, to use our do finances God's way, do fitness God's way, do relationships God's way, okay? And that's the key. Because that really goes towards why we started this whole journey in the first place, because we want to be set for life. And when we can be stewarding God's stuff, if we can be stewarding everything that God has given us, then that's when we see real life happen. Okay? So I hope that you're as excited and encouraged about this as I am, and wanting to get on here on an everyday basis, on a consistent basis, to see what it really looks like to not just transform, but to also steward all the blessings that God's going to lavish on us when we're willing to do life His way. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you're encouraged by this, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day.